Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
My headphone cord got tangled around the AR-15. Just as we went live. Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We broadcast 2 hours from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains. And if you'd like to call us, 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. Aaron's engineering the broadcast in Minnesota. Captain John Regan, U.S. Air Force Reserves, retired, is with us. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, John, I wanted to share something with you. I didn't mention this to you, but I've been having this problem with these yellow fence post insulators, and they're these T-post insulators. And those are those green fence posts that you see farmers pound in, and they can run temporary fence, or you can hang barbed wire, or you can hang even more sophisticated fencing like 4x6 square rolled fencing on there. Anyway, I use them a lot, and we have I'm sure we have over 1,000 of them here at the farm. So I bought these red snapper fence insulators. They're yellow, and they snap on the fence posts. I bought them about a week ago, and the idea was to put up a temporary fence for our cows. And what we do is we do strip grazing. So we allow the cows to eat some grass, and then we move the fence, the electric fence, and we give them some more grass, and then some more, and then some more, and then so they get a chance to eat all the grass down to where they want, and then we give them more. And it's a really efficient way of farming, cattle farming. Well, I bought this brand new package of Red Snapper, S-N-A-P-R, brand fence insulators. And opened the package, put the fence insulator on, it broke in my hand. Okay, take the next one, breaks in a different place. And the plastic is not suitable for this purpose. So I called the manufacturer, and I said, I bought these, and they said, wow, that's a discontinued product. And I said, well, that's a good thing, because they really are substandard, and I would never buy these again. And I said, what can you do? And they said, well, would you like new ones? I said, no. I don't want this product. I don't want to mess with them anymore. It's too much of a hassle. Walking out, putting them on the fence post, having the cows right there ready to move on to the next field. And no, it's not worth it. They don't work. I don't trust them. And they said, okay, well, we can give you a refund. I said, that's great. And they said, all you have to do is, prove you bought them. They were $7.50. We have gotten to the point in America where we don't trust anybody. Now, that phone call cost them and me more than $7.50. And they want me to prove that I bought these insulators. Well, I'll do that. But why would I make that up? Why would I make up that these fence insulators have failed? And that I've thrown most of them away. I only have a couple left. And I'd be glad to take pictures and show them. But what a hassle, right? What about saying, gee, Mr. Finelli, we are really sorry. You know what? That was a manufacturing defect. We used substandard plastic. We got it from China. We got a good deal on it. We thought we were going to do the right thing. And no, we didn't. No, they didn't do that. They want me to prove it. So I have this Gerber knife, and I've had it for a while, and one of the screws fell out of it. So I called, I was kind of on a roll calling customer service. I called Gerber Knives, got their customer service guy. His name is Jim. I said, Jim, here's a knife I have, and this little tiny screw and this spacer fell out. Now, it's not a problem, but I think that with this one screw and spacer out, it's going to cause the other screws and spacers to fall out. And I use this knife every day. It's a serrated knife. It's called I think it's called a skeleton knife, which really means that the handle has, it's got holes in it on purpose. He said, well, may I have your address? And I gave it to him, and he said, oh, we'll send it to you. I didn't have to prove anything. No pictures. It's amazing. It's amazing the difference in companies. You know, one company believes you. The other company wants you to prove that you bought a $7.50 item. Amazing. We're falling down. The answer really should be, if I'm not mistaken, I'm so sorry you had that problem. We really want to make it up to you. How about if we do this? We've got a new product. How about we send you a coupon for that new product, and we send you a refund, or we send you, instead of $7.50, let's send you $15 in coupons, and you can go buy the insulators of your choice. We're so sorry you had that problem. Would that be okay, Mr. Finelli? But they don't do that. What do you think, John?
No, it's not the America we grew up in. And while you were talking, I was thinking, how's the mainstream media going to talk about this part of today's show? And I figured it out. They're going to say, Vincent admits he has a screw loose.
And it's absolutely true. And I really love this Gerber knife. I carry it with me, at all times. I should really take a picture of it so the class can see what it is. It's a $20 knife. You can get it at the Chinese factory outlet for $20. I think the list price is $35. Everyone in our family has them. Why? Because we're farmers. And we're always cutting something like a fence. We're patching fences, and maybe we're using baling twine to make temporary repairs. We're cutting these electric fence tapes with polypropylene with stainless steel wires in them. And one of our instructors, Howard Shayne, used his to cut a seatbelt off a guy who's in a crash to get him extricated from a car that was on fire. So we absolutely, positively, everyone is required to have a knife in our house. Everyone. Mrs. Finelli has the same knife. Our children have the same knife. And I required that our children, one of them was in public training camp, that he have his knife with him at all times in public school for the short time he was there. He wanted to try public school. And I said, you're going to have a knife with you. You know that, right? And he said, yeah, but they don't, that's your rule, Dad, but their rule is no, can't have a knife. I said, well, figure it out. So he had a knife with him in his pocket at all times in public school. Can you imagine? That would have made the news, right? Yeah, broadcaster's son, armed. And we were talking, John, at the dinner table last night. And in Fredericksburg, Virginia, there was, or near there was a student who they arrested because they said he was going to kill people. He was armed or had access to arms, and he was plotting. So they arrested him. And we had to talk about that last night at the dinner table. And I said to our son, well, okay, so he didn't commit a crime, right? No, he didn't commit a crime. But he could have. I said, okay, so what about you? What about you? Couldn't they say that you could have committed a crime? And that you could have gone to school and shot some people? I'm not just talking about just our son. I'm talking about anybody. Anybody who has access to a handgun or a rifle could do the same thing, right? So now it seems that we can be arrested for thinking about something, or we can be arrested because someone else thinks we might have thought about something, or we could be arrested for someone else fabricating that we might have thought about something. I don't like it. I really don't like it. Well, you could have robbed that bank. Yeah, but I didn't. But you could have. Wow. And then so many people are just so thankful that people are being arrested for crimes they could have committed. I think we've gone way too far. Just my thought.
Yeah,
John?
but Minority Report is not science fiction, it's prophecy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've got a whole bunch of items on today's class schedule. Where would you like to start?
What? Me have a lot of items? Well, the good news is I've finally got a chance to get to the next part of my special report, Part 9. It's been 2 months since I've been able to do that. The last one I did, Part 8, was Words Mean Things. And there's been so much news in the meantime. And, just trying to squeeze stuff in. The draft for what I'm going to cover, I'm going to wait until second hour to do that one. I wrote that draft between 2 and 4 Wednesday morning. That's how I'm getting things fit in the day anymore.
Yeah, right.
The drought, California has not changed one bit since middle of July. Texas has a big change. This does not include the rains from this past weekend, but we went from half the state being in some stage of drought to just under 16%. And Thursday we'll find out how much more that's dropped. And I've got an article update on the drought in Brazil. They're calling it the worst dry spell for 100 years. Rivers are dropping so much you can go out fishing with your bare hands.
John, I looked at some of those pictures about Brazil, and there's an image on your link where there's a plane that can land in the water with pontoons. A small single engine plane that you can land in the water and take off in the water. And it's stranded. It's stranded because the water's gone. No kidding. Think of this as like a Cherokee or a Piper Cub, that size, with pontoons, stranded in the mud because the water's gone. And then you've got a picture where there's like a houseboat, and it's stranded in the mud. And then you've got a picture of a guy who created a puddle. So what he did was he made a little ditch and a depression in the mud so that water could go into this little, maybe a 2 or 3 foot size depression, and he can scoop out some water. That's what's going on. This drought stuff is serious, and we've just shifted. We've just shifted where the rain lands. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
This is a healthcare alert from the Pain Relief Hotline. If you, a family member, or a loved one suffers from knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain and have Medicare as your primary insurance, we've got great news. You don't have to suffer any longer. You can immediately qualify for a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you by calling our 24/7 Pain Relief Hotline at 866-389-0620. Delivery is free and all paperwork is handled for you. If you are on Medicare and have knee, back, shoulder, or ankle pain, don't wait. You can qualify to immediately receive a pain-relieving brace at little or no cost by calling our 24/7 Pain Hotline now at 866-389-0620. Our representatives are standing by 24/7 to take your call and rush you your pain-relieving brace at little or no cost to you. Shipping is free and all paperwork is handled for you. Just call 866-389-0620. That's 866-389-0620. Again, 866-389-0620.
Hey, Berkey Guy here. Are you still drinking unfiltered tap water? Does your water contain chlorine or fluoride? Will you have drinkable water in an emergency? The Berkey Guy is here to help you remove these and other potential contaminants from your water, thus helping you drink clean, purified water. We offer Berkey water purification systems at the lowest available prices online. Don't go another moment without a Berkey system. Over the last 10 years, we've helped thousands drink clean, purified water. Join them by visiting goberkey.com or call me, the Berkey Guy, at 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653.
Do you lay awake at night and worry about the health and safety of you and your loved ones? Do you wonder what would happen if you weren't able to get to a hospital or doctor? How can you keep your family safe against the deadly pathogens that are beginning to emerge in the world today? Give yourself peace of mind with Supernatural Silver. Supernatural Silver is turning heads around the world as a new weapon in the fight against bacteria, viruses, and fungus. Supernatural Silver can be taken internally or used topically to help the body's own immune system fight off disease much more effectively. Supernatural Silver has been tested at independent universities and laboratories around the world and has been proven to be safe and highly effective against some of the planet's deadliest pathogens. There is no better product to have in your home for daily use or emergency preparedness. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, use the code SILVER2015 for 20% off, and give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
My dad was 59 when he collapsed from a heart attack late last year. Just this past August was when we spread his ashes on the St. Croix River. I loved my dad, but boy was he stubborn. He hadn't been to the doctor in over 25 years. His excuse? He simply couldn't afford it. He wasn't a rich man by any means. At less than $107 per month, libertyoncall.org would have been the perfect alternative for my father. Don't wait. Go to libertyoncall.org right now for not just your sake, but for the sake of your loved ones. Again, that's libertyoncall.org.
Captain John Regan's with us, and a couple quick announcements. Tonight we have a meetup, and Andrew's going to be with us tonight, and he'll be talking about his traffic ticket, his citation. And he won his court case, so he'll be talking about that. Andrew's a great speaker. You've heard him on the radio with us. He's been at the meetups. He's been at the expo. And let's see. We're going to also be talking about hospice. Hospice tonight. Tracy's going to talk about hospice. She's a nurse, a hospice nurse. She's going to be talking about how it works. And you're certainly welcome to ask all the questions that you'd like. And one of the questions I think that should be asked is, how do you protect the family assets from being stolen by the government when one of your loved ones is receiving hospice care? So make sure you ask those questions. That's tonight. I won't be there tonight, but I will be there next Monday. And Freeze Dry Guy's flying in. He's going to be staying with us. He'll be at the farm, and he'll be coming to the meetup next Monday. That's Freeze Dry Guy. So this Monday, today, which is Jimmy's Egg. Great seminars on how this ticket was processed and how the court case went and the strategy that Andrew, our instructor, used to win his case, and also hospice with Tracy. Tomorrow, now we have a change in schedule. I can't get on the website because I'm locked out. I cannot log in to make any changes. So regardless of what it says, tomorrow is with Miles. Miles is going to be calling in from Europe, and we'll have 2 hours with Miles, Senior USA Prepares instructor. So if you have some questions for Miles, you can email me those questions, Vincent at USA Prepares, and you're certainly welcome to do that, and you're certainly welcome to call in. That's tomorrow. And then Wednesday is Norm Shealy. Thursday is Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Friday is Brandon Williams. And we are going to do a series for a whole year on solar design, solar engineering, and going off grid. I'm doing it. I am upgrading our equipment, and I would think within 2 weeks we will be broadcasting again via solar, and that's ironedison.com. John Regan, back to you.
Well, I'm I'm going to try and get through financial and employment pretty quickly here because there's so much more further down the list. I've got a link under financial called More Spending. This is about the Weeper of the House before he left, gave Obama a blank check. They haven't actually increased the debt limit. From what I understand, I haven't read the bill. There's a link for the bill included in that article. But from what I've read, they have not increased the debt ceiling, but they've suspended it through March of 2017. So whoever is elected president next only has an unlimited credit card for 2 months before some kind of legislation has to be done or a crisis hits. There's trucking tells the story. We'll get the question, how can you tell what's coming? And trucking is one of those leading indicators that you can typically find out about before the government gets you the reports 6 months later. And trucking is way down as far as what's being shipped. And as just a couple of
John, doesn't that tell the story about Christmas? I mean, shouldn't there be more trucks on the road right now delivering those trinkets to the stores rather than less? I mean, I would think that now would be the time that they'd be ramped up to the absolute maximum, wouldn't you think?
Right, because they have to get everything in line before Black Friday, which is their big push. Mm-hmm. And, some are even pushing now. They're trying to extend the Christmas season to 365 days a year because they need the additional sales. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Are you seeing Christmas sales flyers in your neck of the woods in Texas? I'm not seeing them here. I'm not seeing sales.
I'm not sure I'm seeing flyers, but I'm seeing stockage in the stores.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen Halloween inventory bulging these trinkets that people buy. I'm not sure where they buy them. Disposable trinkets for Halloween. John Regan, I'll be right back after bottom of the hour commercials.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
My name is Don Wiskin. In 1994, I lost my 62-year-old father to complications of bypass surgery. In 1977, my 44-year-old brother was found dead in his apartment. He suffered a heart attack. In January of 98, my mother had a stroke and passed away in her bed. 21 days later, my 53-year-old brother passed away on his arrival to the hospital. He waited too long. In June that same year, I almost joined them at 42. What did I do? I took a 7-herb formula I now call Extendivite, made from garlic, cayenne, bilberry, ginkgo biloba, hawthorn, milk thistle, and valerian. Based on German studies of natural medicine, Extendivite is designed to clear blocked arteries, clean the toxins from your blood, and improve your immune system. To get your Extendivite, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit our website, heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
We use mobile devices right against our bodies every day, but growing scientific evidence has emerged showing serious health risks associated with exposure to EMF radiation emitted from these devices. The solution is Defender Shield, the most effective mobile radiation shielding ever developed. Defender Shield blocks virtually 100% of EMF radiation from cell phones, tablets, and laptops, and starts at just $64.99. Buy now at DefenderShield.com. For 10% off, use promo code GCN. DefenderShield.com, the worldwide leader in mobile radiation shielding.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares Unfiltered and Untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares Untapped and Off the Grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Your house is under attack. Every day, our homes and families are attacked by harmful gases, mold, and pollutants caused by everyday activities. According to the EPA, indoor air can be 5 to 100 times worse than outdoor air. And the American Lung Association states that poor indoor air can cause infections and chronic lung diseases such as asthma. Protect your family with a complete indoor air quality package from Wave Home Solutions. Wave ventilation units for basements and crawl spaces reduce moisture that nourishes mold, odors, dust mites, and expels gases and pollutants. Add the Wave 6-stage air purifier to get rid of the viruses, chemicals, and pollutants upstairs for a complete indoor air quality solution. A healthy home is the best investment you can make. Visit WaveHomeSolutions.com. That's WaveHomeSolutions.com or call 888-758-WAVE. That's 888-758-WAVE.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
So, John, I got a call last week from this woman who asked to speak to my mother, and she said, "Is this?" And she repeated my mother's name. She stated my mother's name, and I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't get your name." And she gave me her first name, and I said, "Okay, how can I help you?" And she said, "I need to speak to," and she mentioned my mother's name, and I said, "Well, tell me how I can help you." And she said she was with this Medicare partner. And I said, "Great. Before we continue, I'm going to need some information from you." And she was stunned. And I said, "I'm going to need to see some ID." And, how would that be accomplished, right, John? How would she provide ID? So I was looking at the phone, and there was no way I could interpret who she was because it was blocked, coded. It didn't say, Joe Dokes or Medicare or some insurance company. It didn't say any of that. And so we had this kind of, it was a standoff for about, 15 minutes where she was trying to get information out of me, and I couldn't do it because I needed to see her ID. And I think that's something that we can all start doing. When people ask you for your ID, what's the last four of your social security number or the secret code or whatever it may be, say to them, "Okay, I'm going to need to see your ID. I want to cooperate. I just need to see your ID." And they won't do it. They absolutely will not identify who they are. So I just wanted to share that, just that little tactic in waging the battle, or waging the defense against the battle against us. Back to you, John Regan.
Well, I guess I should quickly talk about GDP. The new report came out last week, and third quarter GDP was up a pathetic 1.5%. And if it hadn't been for Obamacare, it would have been worse than that. And I just want to remind everybody that they've changed the way they calculate GDP. You pretty much have to subtract 3% from that to get to where it would have been under the old calculation. So we are in recession-like territory. The charts you see under the durables drop in Dallas 2 links already point that out. And GDP that we see from other countries are saying we're already in a recession. Sooner or later, they're not going to be able to keep up that lie. And we're seeing this in the employment section. I didn't put any up last week. There were a number of companies, including ones that had good earnings reports, that are laying off more people. The first link is a little outside that. Who needs employees? There's a short video there showing a burrito vending machine that puts out burritos that are apparently almost as good as Chipotle, what they say. And so not only do you not need employees, you don't even need to rent out kitchen space. These types of machines are, I would expect, going to be game changers. It's not like the old style vending machines where you had this prepared food that was put in there and then you'd get it out and stick it in a microwave, and it was food in name only. This is fresh prepared type food. And whether it's, we've seen here burritos, we've seen pizza, we've seen hamburgers, and I expect we're going to see more and more of those as minimum wage goes up.
I'm trying to think of the name of that restaurant, if you want to call it that, in New York City, maybe back in the 60s. I think it was called the Automat. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
I think that was the beginning of this, where there was like a wall with little cubbies in it, and you just open these what would you say, a little glass door, and you'd pull out the sandwich of your choice or whatever you wanted to eat, and it was kind of self-serve, and they would stock it from behind the wall. Wow. So what we're doing, John, is we're just pushing people to the side. We don't need them anymore, right? Wherever we can. We did that with automated response units, press 1, press 2, press 3 on the telephone. We've replaced some of the need for the waiters and waitresses at the Olive Garden by these devices that let you order from your table. You can pay your bill from the table. All you need is some food preparation and cleaning up of the dishes, right? And, of course, the maintenance of the building. But I don't like where we're going. I really don't. I don't like a lot of things that I see happening in the future.
If you don't like that, take a look down under bigger picture. I have a link, second one, called Medideath.
I'm there.
I wish this was an April Fool type thing, but the government has now directed doctors that are treating seniors to have end-of-life counseling with them. Because, we really can't afford these old fogies that have paid in for all of these years. They're bankrupting America. You need to do the patriotic thing and just get rid of yourself.
It's an outrage. And what about Dr. Kevorkian, right? Isn't he in prison for assisted suicide? It's like doublespeak. Yeah. Put a guy in prison for helping people kill themselves, which I have a problem with. And, but the government, it begins. The title of this post is, it begins, government to pay doctors to tell patients to kill themselves. The federal government is about to pay doctors who speak with patients about the type of medical care they want when they are near death. Now, what does that mean, care, medical care? Does that mean, would you prefer death over a few days, or do you want it like instant? Is that what that means?
Do you like arsenic or cyanide?
And so it all points to the same thing, John. It all points to population elimination. The food additives. I placed a call during the break, bottom of the hour break, to one of our friends. You know him. He was a U.S. Army major. He is very sick right now. And I have not been able to get through. I've placed a couple calls now. I've not been able to get through. His daughter and my son are friends. And I just heard yesterday when one of our instructors came over to visit us that this instructor, USA Prepares instructor, who is not doing well, his daughter took time off from college to attend to her father. Her father is a USA Prepares guy, U.S. Army major. It's so sad. And I said to Dr. Howard Shayne, who came over to the house yesterday, I said, Howard, we were at the kitchen table. You've been at our kitchen table. You know, it's like it's a place where we have discussions. I said, Howard, do you know of any family that doesn't have cancer? And Howard is a dentist. He's been a dentist for a long time. He's a premier dentist in Springfield, Missouri. He knows a lot of doctors, anesthesiologists, dentists. He knows the medical community. He's part of the medical emergency plan for Springfield, or the city of Springfield, I should say, rather than community. And he said, no, every family. John, I'm sure you'd agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Every family. And what I'm hearing more and more and more and more is brain cancer. And I am absolutely positively convinced that there's a correlation, a significant correlation between brain cancer and electromagnetic radiation. I'm absolutely positively convinced. Sharon in Montana, you're on with John, Regan, and me. Welcome.
Yeah, I have a question for John that I'm always wondering what it means. They keep mentioning seasonally adjusted rate. You know, like we've improved so much by 0.1% or something, which is nothing. But what actually is seasonally adjusted rate? They say every single season of the year.
Okay, when you deal with statistics, you look at the data, and there's the raw data, which is what you see, recordings that you actually took. And to give an example, let's say you're in the candy industry, and you'll see a big uptick, in February for Valentine's Day, and you'll see a big uptick, in late October for Halloween, things of that nature. And you're trying to project out, things for manufacturing and sales. Well, you've got different things going on with the data. One, you have trends. Trend could be up, trend could be down, trend could be sideways. Typically, when you have a growing population and a growing economy, you'll have some kind of trend that is going up. So you need to account for that as part of the equation. And you have cycles, and you can pull out the cycles from the equation. And then you have seasonality. So things like for the candy company, they have seasons. Toy company, you see that big one for Christmas. And they adjust for the seasonality of that industry. It's kind of like, if you were in the marina industry, your big season would be during summer. If you were in the skiing industry, your big season would be during winter. And it's just a way of flattening it out so that you can get a good idea of where you're going. but it doesn't really tell you what the situation is for that particular.
John, wouldn't you say another way of explaining it is to remove some of the variations that occur during seasons, to remove those? Isn't that part of it?
But it's really meant for projections, not really for reporting.
Okay. Sharon, you're certainly welcome. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to produce an endless supply of nano-sized silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. Silver Lungs. With the addition of our unique lung delivery system, respiratory infections are targeted directly, where traditional oral administration simply cannot reach. This pioneering method also preserves the original particle sizes and delivers your silver solution directly into the bloodstream. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
It's time to kick some ash because cigarettes have met their match. Smokers are switching to Vaporite e-liquid by LeSig because when you kick ash, you kick tar and smelly smoke too. LeSig smokes the competition with real people customer service, a 7-day satisfaction guarantee, and same-day fast free shipping. Become a vapor today at LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes. Kick some ash.
Hi, this is Sophie Winnick, longtime distributor and user of Longevity products. In the last few years, my family went through a crisis. Everything else in my life, including my business, had to be put on the back burner. Thankfully, life is getting back to normal now. But the one thing I never had to worry about was my business and my monthly commission. I've been a distributor for Longevity for over 17 years, since before it was Longevity. And I've got to say, the most amazing thing about this company is the people. While my family was in crisis, other distributors stepped in and helped my customers, simply because that's what Longevity people do, even for people they don't know. For me, it has never been about getting rich. It was about a product I could stand behind, a company I could count on, and a monthly commission check that has never, not once, been late in 17 years. Longevity is truly a business for everyone, even people who have too much to do. I'm Sophie Winnick. I'm just like you. I have a real life, real ups and downs, but I know I will always have Longevity.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
As if chlorine in our water weren't bad enough, now they're adding ammonia?
It's true. Some municipalities are now adding ammonia plus chlorine to your water supply. It's a disinfectant called chloramine. But with a trusted Big Berkey water filter, you can keep chloramine out of your water. New NSF EPA certified lab tests show EPA Berkey water filters remove chloramines, pharmaceuticals, BPA, pesticides, bacteria and viruses, all forms of fluoride, and much more. Big Berkey water filters are the original and most trusted on the market. The gold standard in water purification. And our filters last for years at less than 2 cents per gallon. Big Berkey, the one that's powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water. Get your Big Berkey today. Call 1-877-99-BERKEY or click BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY. Big Berkey Water Filters, for the love of clean water.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you?
I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, and Sharon in Montana is with us. And Sharon, you asked about seasonally adjusted rates. Did you have another question for John Regan?
Well, no, it just, then basically they're not saying anything when they say it on news, right? It means nothing. They try to tell you.
Well, are you asking if the news is distorted and sanitized?
Well, I
the
know
answer
it
is
is,
absolutely
but
yes.
Yeah, I know that it is, except that they always say, well, we've had a wonderful increase of, 0.05% or something, and with seasonally adjusted, so they're really saying nothing, right?
Well, the big problem is they are going beyond what's normal statistical calculations. Mm-hmm. And let me give you an idea for legitimate use of using seasonal adjusted numbers. At least back in the old days, before the economy's gone totally crazy, when school let out in May, there'd be a bunch of students get summer jobs, and those jobs would go away by the end of August. Mm-hmm. So if you just looked at the raw numbers, May would look really, really good compared to April.
Yeah.
But if you seasonally adjust it, then you find out how many real jobs do we get there? Do we have growth in jobs, or do we actually have a loss in jobs? And conversely, at the end of the summer, where you have the big fall off between July and August, it's not the economy's crashing, it's all these people are going back to school, and you adjust that to see, did we lose more than that, or do we actually have a gain in jobs? So there's some legitimate purposes and uses of seasonal adjustment. It's the bastardization of the techniques that's gone totally crazy these last few years.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Well, I'm just curious. I hear it all the time, and I thought, just what does that mean? But you can get back to your other topic. It was very interesting. I was just curious, and I thought you would probably know. Thank you.
Sharon, thank you so much for your call.
Okay.
So, John, what we're finding out is that it's very difficult to depend on the mainstream media's news about, let's say, real estate sales. Let's say about commerce in general. And it always seems to be better than it really is. There's a spin put on it that makes, home sales are up. Really? Are they really up? And then we find out, well, actually it was looked at again next month, and it really wasn't up. And then each time it's reported after that, well, it's adjusted downward. So that the first report about how great things are was really a wish. It really was inaccurate. And I see that over and over, and I expect we're going to see the same thing over Christmas. I think we're going to hear that Christmas sales are going to be brisk. They're going to be brisk. And then in February, we're going to hear, well, they weren't so brisk. And then maybe by March, we're going to hear, really, we're kind of bad. What do you think?
Well, it's like people I follow for my housing information. It gets beyond just misreporting. You could legitimately have an increase in sales, but what you're seeing is it's the high-end real estate, and it's cash buyers from China. It's not the U.S. economy.
Very good point. What's next?
Well, we don't have much time this hour. Let's jump down at the third link under Fukushima. They are prepared. And I found it interesting because we've talked about what happens to nuclear plants if the power goes out. Matt Stein's done wonderful presentations on that. Well, I found out, hey, the government actually is prepared in case these backup generators all go out at a nuke plant. But they're only ready if only one nuke plant goes out that way. So if they have more than one, they got a problem.
And there are 104 in this country, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And my understanding is that all of them have radioactive waste stored at that site, at each one of those sites. So we have a potential problem that's huge. And I was talking with one of our instructors about how easily the grid could fail, how easily it could fail. I mean, just a couple lone, I don't want to use the word wolf, a couple individuals just wandering around could really sabotage our grid and ruin it for everyone on the planet. Pretty dangerous. And that's why we're doing a series for a whole year on alternative energy, so you can get ready. Captain John Regan, I'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
Sciatica, lower back pain, hip pain, poor posture. If you suffer from any of these problems, get ready to relax. Introducing an amazing product that's been in the market for over 25 years, the Sacro Wedgie. It was invented by a football coach using a common-sense osteopath technique. He created this device to help his athletes by isolating and supporting the sacrum, which is the keystone of our anatomy. This wedge-shaped bone is in the center of our hips, where a lot of pain starts. Simply relax 20 minutes daily on the amazingly simple Sacro Wedgie and let gravity do the work, helping muscles rebalance and start releasing nerves. Sit in the Sacro Wedgie at the computer or while traveling to help correct posture to finally help relieve those stubborn aches and pains for only $33.95. It's made in the USA, so click the family-owned website at sacrowedgie.com, spelled SACROWEDGY.com, or call 1-800-737-9295. That's 1-800-737-9295. Relax your back pain away with the Sacro Wedgie.
A lot of people's lives and bodies are out of balance. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops optimize pH level and get rid of harmful waste and acid. Just a few drops in water restores vibrance and energy and gets you back in balance. Now order 2 bottles and get $10 off your order. Sign up for monthly auto shipping and save 25%. Call 800-518-7615 or visit alkavision.com. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com.
Attention USA Prepares listeners. When you're on the road or have limited data or Wi-Fi, now you can listen to USA Prepares unfiltered and untapped at no extra charge on this non-federal phone number, 1-605-477-3249. Try it now to listen to USA Prepares 24/7 at no extra cost or data charges. These are not on federal lines. These are lines located on Indian reservations off the grid. Call 1-605-477-3249. No smartphones or internet needed. To hear USA Prepares untapped and off the grid, just call 1-605-477-3249.
Everyone all set, cocked, locked? Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Reminder, there's a meetup tonight at Jimmy's Egg. Jimmy's Egg meetup tonight. And we're going to be talking about a traffic ticket that one of our instructors received. He went to court. He fought it. He has no driver's permit, and he won. He won in court. And you're going to hear all about that tonight. And also, you're going to hear about hospice, how it works, what you need to know. That's tonight, Jimmy's Egg, 4:45 to 8, right here in Springfield, Missouri. Captain John Regan's with us. Captain, what's next?
Well, up near the top, I've got a link for the next part of the report. It's titled, Who Are the Real Haters? And I guess it's kind of interesting. We got the question about seasonal adjustment, which goes back to, classes and statistics and modeling. And if you were to take one of these classes, the formal way things are done is you have hypotheses. And based on the data and analysis of the data, you end up accepting or rejecting the hypotheses. So this starts out talking about, can't believe it's so long ago now, we have these two hypotheses. There is a spiritual God that created the physical universe, and there is spiritual life after physical death. And just to make it easy for conversation, I shorten that to two questions. Is there a God, and is there life after death? So just make sure that there's ambiguity in the questions. There's not ambiguity in the hypotheses. And we discussed these in detail last year. It was hour 2 of the April 28th show and hour 1 of the May 5th show. And I've got links there in this post that will take you directly to those podcasts in the GCN archives. Now, I obviously can't go through 2 hours and the time we have remaining, so I put together the Reader's Digest condensed version for this. When we look at those two questions, there's 4 possibilities of answers. I look at the yes, yes, and no, no possibilities. Either you believe in both or you don't believe in both. And the reason I don't believe the yes, no, because if there's a God and there's no life after death, then, we're just here for entertainment value and then thrown away. If you want to pursue that path, you can. To me, it doesn't make sense, much like the no-yes combo, where if we're spirits and there's no God, then why the heck would we choose to come here and go through all the pain and suffering that a physical existence gives us? So, again, you can go down that path. I don't. Well, in looking at the evidence, I started off, and I spent some time on this, talking about how computers work, specifically digital computers, which is what most of us use. And when you look at the very basic level, there's only 4 building blocks. These are known as not, and, or, and exclusive or. I go into those in detail in last year. I move on to physical matter, which we learned about in school. Atoms are made up of 3 building blocks: protons, neutrons, and electrons. You can then move on to genetics, where a combination of a few of those elements make 4 compounds that are the building blocks of DNA. They either combine as the AT or the CG, and to kind of compare that to the computer. With the computer, everything inside that computer is kind of like a light switch. It's called a bit. It can either be on or off, and that's the only 2 values it can have. Well, when you're reading the DNA up one side of the double helix, each bit of that DNA has 4 possible values. So it's got double that capacity, but possibilities just in doing that. And the scarier thing, which I'll get into in a later post, what they're doing with the transhumanism, they've now come up with a 3rd base pair. And no telling what kind of nightmares they're going to create using those. But the point I wanted to make out of all of that is everything that we see, whether it's the natural world or things that we have created as, mankind, they're made up off of just a very few building blocks. And in these examples, 3 or 4 building blocks. And amazing complexity comes out of that. Well, let's go a step further and look at humanity. We have language, and we actually have many languages. And using English as an example, we have 26 building blocks in our language. And, 26 is a much larger number than 3 or 4. So our language can be much more complex than the complexity that we see with computers and the physical universe. Well, in addition to those building blocks, there's other nuances in our language, punctuation. And I use an example of just a simple 3-word sentence, let's eat grandma. So you can either have that without any punctuation, or you can put a comma after let's eat before grandma. And the difference it makes, everything's still involving grandma and dinner. But what matters is, are you having grandma for dinner or as dinner? And we could, spend hours just, talking about, how little changes like that affect everything, whether it's in, the study of matter, the study of genetics, the study of computers. But just to drive the point home there. And to the bottom line about why I put all of that in there is because I'm looking at all of this through the lens of being a computer scientist. My undergraduate degree is computer science, and much of my career has been in the computer field or financial reporting. So when you see a program, the programs don't just create themselves. There was a programmer. And you just don't see accidents happen. The people that are the no-nos would like to try and believe that. And this is a little bit of start of the discussion about why they don't want to believe that. And then we can turn and look at the Bible, and it's kind of interesting. Wednesday night, we just started up Genesis at church, and we actually accused the pastor. We've spent the last several months in Revelation, and we think he might have planned it so that he started Genesis during World Series week, because that way he could talk about in the big inning. So grown at that one, and we'll keep on going. When you look at the Bible and you think about human language, and in Genesis it says that God spoke the universe and everything that we see into being. And, to me, that's not a hard thing to believe, considering how complex human language is, compared to computers and matter and life. To me, it's not far-fetched that the language of God can easily accomplish those things. And, it'd be great if there were proof, but it's kind of like when you're on a jury. You have to make decisions based on evidence. And sometimes those decisions are life and death. And it's essentially the same thing we're dealing with there. We can extrapolate a little bit, whether you're the yes side or the no side. What does it mean if you're wrong? And what does that mean to our daily lives? So if you're on the yes camp, then life is full of meaning. And if you're wrong, you'll never know about it. But if you're on the no side, then basically all that really matters to you is what turns you on. And that runs the whole gamut. You may be one of those people that love helping people, and you'd be considered a good person. On the other hand, you could be one of those people that's just into, being as selfish as you can possibly be. You enjoy the sex, drug, and rock and roll culture. But if you are wrong, there's going to be a bad surprise ahead. Another part is when we look at our founding documents and in the Declaration of Independence, it tells us our rights come from God. So if there is no God, then we have no rights. And all we have are just privileges that are granted to us by the ruling class, which can be revoked and changed at any time. And unfortunately, where we're sitting now, that transition is nearly complete to where we no longer have rights. We only have privileges. Well, it's there's other evidence too. I've talked about Jonathan Gray, who's a biblical archaeologist, and they've made a post on the blog, the 3,000-year-old aircraft from World War II. I've got the link there in the post, and we'll pick up after the break.
Captain John Regan's was absolutely fascinating description. Absolutely. I'm Vin Finelli. This is USAPrepares.com, and I've been thinking about what he's been saying and some discussions I've had over the weekend. And by now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
My name is Bill Bonner, and I have an important message. Right now, the highest levels of government are struggling against an inevitable crisis, but they're about to lose control. When this happens, it will rip our country apart in ways you never imagined. From where we shop to the family you want to protect. Look, I've made predictions like this before. A few years ago, I warned that the housing prices would collapse. Before that, I warned that .com companies would crash, and they did. Those who listened had a chance to save themselves. But this has nothing to do with the stock market. This will affect us all. I've posted a free video at $downfall.com. Maybe you'll disagree with my conclusions, but first you need to watch this video and see the facts for yourself. You can watch the video for free right now by going to $downfall.com. Again, that's $downfall.com.
Owe $10,000 or more to the IRS?
Get on board with the Tax Admiral. Don't pick on the IRS alone. I'll cut penalties and reduce your overall tax bill. Sometimes I can even get it zeroed out completely.
We're an A-rated company helping people clean up their mess with the IRS.
If you owe $10,000 or more, then call the Tax Admiral.
Call 800-287-7180. Again, that's 800-287-7180. 800-287-7180.
Earthquake, floods, winter storms, prolonged power outages, or war. Each of us have had that moment when we recognize that we need to be better prepared. We typically do the same thing. We start with food storage, then we address the need for water. But have you considered heat storage? I'm talking about staying warm in the cold. Here are some things for you to consider. How will I keep my family warm? The standard answers are firewood, coal, or propane. But the problem with that if you need to be on the move is you can't take it with you. Another concern? There may come a time when you need to stay warm without smoke, like in times of war. There may even come a time when you can't burn fuel. The answers may be simpler and less costly than you think. For these answers, go to fortressclothing.com. Again, fortressclothing.com has the answers to your heat storage dilemma. Don't get stuck in the cold. fortressclothing.com. You'll never be cold again.
There are hundreds of silver products on the market today, but there's nothing like the astonishing health benefits of the multi-patented One Silver Solution. Boost your immune system at a great price with our Silver Solution Liquid, starting at $12.95 a bottle. Now available in regular and extra strength. That's half the price of the leading competitors. Call 844-USILVER for your free catalog, or go to OneSilverSolution.com. OneSilverSolution.com. There is only one Silver Solution.
Captain John Regan's with us, and he's continuing his presentation on who are the real haters. John, please continue.
Now, let me just back up for a moment, because some people might think, what the heck does this have to do with preparedness anyway? And especially if we go down that route where we don't have the technology, we're not going to have all the societal control systems that we're used to having. And this is part of laying the foundation so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. And as another rabbit hole from that, you put up an article about Dr. Kent Hovind being released from prison. And if you want to search on that, his last name is spelled Hovind. And that's now on page 2 of the USA Prepares, by the way. I'd listened to an interview he did after being released from prison. And one of the things that kind of caught me by surprise is he said that prison is not a biblical punishment. And that's something I'd never heard before, never thought about before. But he's actually right. We read about, Christians being put in prison in the New Testament, but that was a punishment imposed by the state. And we could, another big side trip would be talking about the prison industrial complex that we have in the United States now. And you look at all the negative things that happen because of prison. Now, the biblical way of doing things is you got a fine, and that wasn't a fine that went for, lining the pockets of the state. It was a fine for restitution for some damage that you caused. There was other punishment that involved lashes, and we think that's barbaric now, but you got your punishment, you went home, and you were still a contributing member of society. And again, all of these things required testimony from at least 2 witnesses. So, yes, you can have false witnesses, but there again, that's one of the reasons that's in the top 10 list. And the third punishment was capital punishment. And I guess I'll go ahead and talk about that a little bit now. I'm going to talk about it another time, too. I used to think, geez, stoning, that's got to be, cruel and unusual punishment. But I think about how we do things today. We've given up, our responsibilities. We think we can pay somebody else to do it, whether that's growing our food, fighting our fires, or even doing our capital punishment. And with stoning, you were a part of the punishment. And if you wanted to not be cruel, you wanted to make sure that you were accurate, because if you deliberately missed or tried to, make it to where you weren't inflicting any pain, you were actually prolonging the pain. And because you were there, and it's kind of like with the sacrifice of the animals, this had an emotional impact on you. It's not something you want to do. If it's something you want to do, then you really got problems. But being a part of that, you think about now that actually does serve a really good function on, preventing future crime, because you know what you're in for if you're caught. And it does invoke a little bit of pain as, punishment for the person that committed the crime as well. So, like I said, I used to think it was cruel and unusual. Now I'm seeing the wisdom in it. And it's one of those things that when we end up on the other side of this event and we are having to take care of society, and on a personal level, we're to forgive, but we also have a responsibility for keeping society safe. what are you going to do for punishment? And I would suggest jail is not one of those options.
Captain John Regan's with us on Finelli. You know, this is the kind of information that I think we're going to need to share. And it's absolutely brilliant. Succinct, brilliant, well thought out. John Regan, you've taught us a lot. We'll be right back.
It's time to kick some ash because cigarettes have met their match. Smokers are switching to Vaporite e-liquid by LeSig because when you kick ash, you kick tar and smelly smoke too. LeSig smokes the competition with real people customer service, a 7-day satisfaction guarantee, and same-day fast free shipping. Become a vapor today at LeSig.com, spelled LECIG.com. LeSig e-cigarettes. Kick some ash.
Paid non-attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states.
Attention Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
In recent years, we have witnessed the most catastrophic disasters in history. Earthquakes, hurricanes, tornadoes, typhoons, and more. Legacy Premium Food Storage will prepare you. Our great-tasting non-GMO quality food products have a 25-year shelf life, are the most affordable on the market, and are American-made. They're perfect for hiking, camping, and road trips, too. Be prepared with the best. Go to survivalfoodalliance.com. That's survivalfoodalliance.com.
Do you have difficulty taking supplements? Are you searching for a high-quality, complete nutritional drink that your whole family will love? NutriMedical's Life Support has arrived. All of your daily nutritional requirements in one quick, delicious drink. Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support is a proprietary blend of vegan protein, activated vitamins, essential minerals, amino acids, probiotics, green tea, digestive enzymes, anti-inflammatories, cancer prevention, detoxification, and much more. Your body will high-five you for this one. Life Support is the best complete nutritious meal replacement on the market. Whether you are an elite athlete, have post-operative challenges, chronic illness, elderly, or a family that just wants a quick, delicious drink, try Dr. Bill Deagle's Life Support for optimized nutrition in one great-tasting smoothie. Just add cold water, almond milk, fruit, or anything else you like. NutriMedical's Life Support. Try our great-tasting chocolate or vanilla today. Call 888-212-8871 or visit us online at NutriMedical.com. NutriMedical.com for the whole family.
KDArmor.com is your one-stop shop for the most affordable body armor period, with packages starting at $169.99 and free shipping on every order. Why would you go anywhere else? KD offers soft armor and rifle threat rated armor up to level 4. Go to KDArmor.com and get your body armor today while you still can. Mention this ad and receive a free water purification kit for a limited time with any body armor package. Go to KDArmor.com. That's CATI Armor.com. Come and take it.
Ted Anderson telling you about Jordan Rubin's Beyond Organic Green-Fed Raw Cheddar Artesian Cheese featuring whole milk created through ancient dairy breeding, unpasteurized, untreated whole milk on the same farm the cows graze, containing natural sources of omega-3s, CLA protein, calcium, probiotics, and enzymes. I have never tasted cheese this good, and you need to try it. Contact your longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
You haven't experienced yogurt until you've tried a Mossy, embodying health and flavor in a true whole milk, green-fed dairy beverage. Every sip pays homage to our old world cows and the ancient culturing methods their milk benefits from. With over 30 probiotics, a Mossy's undeniably nutritious, refined, cultured sensation bolsters your health and awakens your passion for dairy. A Mossy's so good, and you need to try it. Contact your Longevity distributor or call 877-878-4203 or go to gcnteam.com.
Captain John Regan's with us, and John, you are delivering an absolutely stunning piece on Who Are the Real Haters. Please continue.
And I guess just to back up for one more bit of background, when I started doing my research early on, and I was looking at things like communism, which, you know, a lot of people when they first wake up, that's what they see, and they track that back to the FDR administration. Later on, you can track that back to the Lincoln administration. But whether I was looking at communism or Darwinism, lots of things that have caused the problems that we're living in today, sooner or later, I would uncover a satanic connection. And also in the research, I would see where God had an answer for how we should do things. Now, there's a lot of problems today because there's, you know, even Christians don't want to do things God's way. And it's so bad. I've seen one survey where it says 60% of Christians don't believe in Satan. And when your enemy manages to convince you that he doesn't exist, you are really, really vulnerable. So one of the early posts I did on this was on consensual relations. And that talked about how any consensual relation that was outside of a man and a woman that was his wife or concubine was a sin. It doesn't matter what other kind of combination it was, how consensual it was, you know, and I've not found anything in the Bible that is counter to what I posted back then. However, as you know, in today's society, you know, if we don't like what these defectives are doing, you know, we're called, you know, homophobes or worse. And it even wasn't that long ago in our society that even science, you know, in their, you know, DSM, you know, the mental manual, you know, homosexuality was a mental disease. And that's all been twisted into what we're dealing with now. And, you know, we have yet to see how that's going to play out. But these Christophobes, you know, are to me, the real haters. And let's look at what they hate. And I did a little condensed version of the Ten Commandments, you know, and I got a link top. And on another post, I'll get into more detail. That'll add some additional insight on why these are top 10. But the big one is, you know, to not have other gods. I talked about that in a little more detail back when we did the words mean things. And how even with our pagan calendar today, that we're committing idolatry. In conjunction with that is to not have idols, and something that's also understandable. It's very hard to focus on something you can't see. We've got things in this universe we can't see that, you know, can cause great damage. We talk about a lot with Fukushima, and if we have time, we'll get to that post, how bad the radiation is there now. But, you know, the first two is all about which team are you on? And you have to look at the people that call themselves atheists. And if they really don't believe that there's this God, why does it tick him off so much? I mean, they get just so angry about the suggestion that there is somebody that they need to be responsible to. And that gets a little bit into the discussion that I heard you have with John Statmiller on Friday. There's an order established, especially after the fall. The man is the head of the household. Now, I did a little bit further research on that. If the husband dies, there's not a problem with his widow being head of the household. It's not, a prohibitive thing that a woman can't be in a position. But the normal order, the man is the head of the household. And, Becky and I have had this discussion, even talked about it in church, how it talks about wives should submit to their husbands. And a lot of times you'll just hear the discussion stop there. If you read on, it also says the husband needs to love the wife as Christ loved the church. To me, that's even a bigger step than for a wife submitting to the husband, because what did Christ do for the church? The pain, the suffering, and dying. So, one of the things that you typically don't get in your Sunday school lesson. To finish off the list, not take the name of God in vain, keeping the Sabbath, honor your father and mother, don't murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't bear false witness, and don't covet. So, once you get past God, it's, I guess the haters don't mind whose authority they take. They don't see any need for taking care of yourself, which is part of what the Sabbath is. They don't care about their parents. They like to do murder, any kind of sexual thing they want, stealing from people, lying, and greed and wanting what other people have. And isn't that what we really see a lot from D.C. and our state houses today? Now, for those of you that remember the old DOS days on computers, what we see from the Old Testament is kind of like the command line version of the rules. When we get into the New Testament is more like Windows, where it's object-oriented, and we now have categories. So I use the list from Revelation 21, the cowardly, the unbelieving, the abominable, the sexually immoral, the practitioners of magical arts, the idolaters, and all liars are the ones that are going to be condemned. And unfortunately nowadays, that's almost the resume you need to have to run for president. So to wrap this up, Christians are the ones being called the haters. And the Bible is called hate speech, because those that hate God and want to live a lifestyle where they can do whatever they want with whomever they want and have no consequences. And I really don't see, another reason. Now, there are some true atheists out there, and I've talked about this before in the Watchman of Ezekiel. And I also had a link to a short video from Penn Jillette of Penn and Teller fame, who's a devout atheist. And you can go to YouTube, search for Penn Gets a Bible, and that's Penn with 2 N's. And he talks about this time when a Christian came up after the show and offered him a Bible. And where most of these people that call themselves atheists would go off on some angry rant, Penn did something entirely different. And he complimented this Christian. And it basically boils down to is, if this is what you believe, then how much do you have to hate somebody to not share this? So I ask, who are the real haters?
Absolutely brilliant, John Regan, as usual. And you mentioned the word covet, and I've been thinking about that. That is what is used in marketing, right? Increasing the desire to covet, longing for, want what the others have, coveting the wealth of others, the things, the material possessions. And this is the month we begin the mass the mass communications of coveting, the marketing for Christmas, right? Isn't that what's going to happen at the end of this month?
Well, besides that, we also have the presidential campaign season going on, where especially on the Democrat side of things, they're promising all sorts of free things. And there's a very high cost of free, and it comes down to taking away from somebody else to serve your selfishness.
I don't know how to say this, John, but let's try. I really don't know how to say this. I mean, just a second here. I got a call from Howard Shayne. He's one of our instructors. And he said he was going to come by this way and he was going to come and stop and see us. I had a whole day planned of things that I was going to do, that I thought that I needed to do. And he said he was coming over, and I said, "That's great. I'm so glad you're coming over." And so half a day I spent helping him on his farm, doing things that sure were a lot easier with my help than if he did them by himself. And then when we were done working on his farm, he came over here and helped me. And it was the most delightful experience because we're buddies. We work together. We helped each other. And I hope that many of you get to experience that very same thing. I'll tell you a little bit more about it when we get back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
So you've got to take a state construction license exam or certification. Can't decide on what books or what chapters to study? Discover right now how you can eliminate unnecessary books and wasted study time. At contractorexam.com, our study materials zero in on state-required test topics in an effective, multiple-choice format. So whether you're a plumber, electrician, general contractor, or other construction-related trade, contractorexam.com will help get you prepared. Visit us at www.contractorexam.com today. Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists, get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Did you know that drinking pure, high alkaline water is one of the most important factors in maintaining high energy and vibrant health? Most experts agree that the water you drink should be at a pH level of 8 or higher. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops, available only at alkavision.com, combine a unique formula of only the most alkaline minerals. AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops alkalize your water, ridding the body of harmful toxins, and helps you regain health and energy. Alkalizing your water by simply adding 10 drops of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops helps the body rid itself of acidic waste, increases oxygen content, and raises the pH of your body to healthy levels. And bacteria and viruses cannot survive in an alkaline high pH environment. Order your bottle of AlkaVision Plasma pH Drops for only $29.95 at alkavision.com. That's ALKAvision.com. Or call 269-409-1776. 269-409-1776. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health at alkavision.com today.
You heard the discussions all over the radio. You couldn't believe what you were hearing. You trusted them. How could you have not seen the signs? You felt betrayed. Outrage set in. Your emotions began to consume you. Then, nothing. Now they're talking football. Days turn to weeks and months. Then, you've forgotten. But they haven't. They're still monitoring your every move. It's coming. Monitor blockitpocket.com. Or will you forget?
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Hi, I'm Rick Ossick with Famous Footwear. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies? That's why we support the March of Dimes in the fight against premature birth. Join us in supporting cutting-edge research, treatment programs, and outreach to help moms have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. Learn how you can help save babies' lives at marchofdimes.org.
Captain John Regan's with us, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com. So, John, yesterday I had plans to work on my truck. There's some things that I needed to do because I had made the arrangements to pick up something that I found on Craigslist for someone else. So I needed to finish my truck so I could use it today to go pick up this item that would fit in the pickup truck bed. It's a large item. And I was buying it to help someone else. So I needed to get that done, but I put that aside so that I could help Howard Shayne, our neighbor, with some things he needed done on his farm. And he could have done everything himself, but it sure was a lot faster with my help. And then we were on his farm, and a half hour later, our son shows up. And our son is there to help us. and he changed his plans. He had an enormous amount of homework due. He changed his plans so that he could help, his dad and Howard. And then after we were done on Howard's farm helping him, we got everything done. Howard changed his plans to help me put an alternator on our son's truck because our son changed his plans. He was going to put an alternator on his truck because his alternator quit, and he needed it to go back to school. So Howard and I put the alternator on, and then I got a call from the lady who was had the item on Craigslist that I was picking up for someone else, and she's been getting a lot of calls. A lot of people want the same item, and she said, "No, I promised it to Vincent." So she's holding it till tomorrow for us. And it all worked out. And it was like a win-win-win-win. And so here's my question. Class, how many of us are willing to change our plans to help someone who could use our help? I have this, I don't know, almost tears in my eyes thinking about this. It all worked. And maybe at the time, before we started this, it seemed like there was going to be a cascading effect where it was all going to come apart. I wasn't going to be able to pick up this item because this seller on Craigslist would sell it to somebody else. But she didn't. It all worked. The alternator was fixed. The work on Howard's farm was fixed. The truck is going to be fixed today. John, we can do it if we have some honor and integrity and honesty, don't you think?
And that's part of the reason I'm laying this foundation, is to give you that picture, not only of what's going on. We start out talking about these computers that are basically going out to other dimensions to get answers, quantum computers. I'll be getting into things like transhumanism, and which is the modern version of genetics. There's also technocracy, which really ties a lot of this stuff together. And when you start overlaying what's given to us in the Bible on top of that, the picture that you'll be seeing is pretty amazing. And give you a hint towards the end there. If you're a believer, I'll be looking at the return we're expecting is either going to happen very soon or 1,000 years from now. And I'm be putting in all the evidence both ways for you to decide. And frankly, right now, I'm leaning towards the probably sooner than later.
John Regan, I really appreciate class today. And I got some information that one of our instructors is very, very ill and could use your prayers. His name is George. If you're interested in adding him to your prayer list, it would be greatly appreciated. His name is George. Meet up tonight at Jimmy's Egg. I won't be there, but I will be there next week. Captain John Regan, thanks so much for a brilliant, brilliant presentation today. That's above all honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Leave it alone. It'll come back around. Does that sound familiar? Most financial professionals are telling their clients that very thing. Don't panic. The stock market goes up. The stock market goes down. The real question you should be asking your financial professional is, do I have an exit strategy so I don't see a repeat of 2008? Look, friends, right now there are rumors circulating by many economists and self-proclaimed financial gurus that something significant could happen in September. I feel it's incumbent to warn you and help you at the same time. My friends at the Wealth Preservation Institute have a free report on how you can have an exit strategy. It's called How to Survive the Upcoming Economic Collapse and Protect Your Savings, Retirement, 401ks, IRAs, and income. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for another 2008. Call right now, 888-772-2929. That's 888-772-2929 for that free report, How to Survive an Upcoming Economic Collapse.